Hey everybody, Jimmy Fallon here. I'm excited to take you on a little journey today, one that's close to my heart and full of laughs. Today we're talking about a legend I really look up to, Conan O'Brien. He's not just a comedy icon, but someone who's inspired a whole generation of comedians, including me. But before the TV shows, the legendary monologues, and that unmistakable red hair, Conan was just a regular kid growing up in Brookline, Massachusetts, right outside Boston in a neighborhood filled with old trees and classic New England charm. He grew up in a big, smart, Irish Catholic family, third of 6 kids with a Harvard doctor dad and a lawyer mom. Imagine the dinner table conversations. Everyone trying to get a word in, and Conan right in the middle, soaking it all up. The bar was set high, and humor was a survival skill in that house. If you wanted to be heard, you had to be quick, clever, and just a little bit outrageous. Conan wasn't the class clown, but he was known for his sharp wit and was a standout student. He had this unique ability to make people laugh without ever being mean, a rare gift even back then. He managed his high school newspaper and even won a national writing contest. That's right, before he was making millions laugh, he was already making headlines for his writing. Imagine a tall, awkward Conan navigating Brookline High, already showing off his writing chops and love for history. He was the kind of kid who stood out, not for sports, but for his brain and his sense of humor. He wasn't the star athlete, but he was the funny one, using humor to connect with people. Friends remember him as the guy who could turn any boring moment into something hilarious. His childhood was the perfect training ground for the comedy legend he'd become. Every family gathering, every school project, every awkward moment, fuel for future jokes. The mix of intelligence, Irish-American roots, and big family chaos shaped his self-deprecating style. He learned to laugh at himself first, and that made everyone else feel comfortable laughing with him. He learned early that being funny could take you far. It was his way of making friends, breaking the ice, and standing out in a crowd. Even as a kid, Conan was destined for something big. He just didn't know it would be on national TV. He'd watch comedy legends on the screen and dream maybe one day that could be him. He wasn't the most popular, but he was unforgettable. Teachers and classmates still remember his quick comebacks and that unmistakable spark in his eye. That sense of humor, it took him from Brookline all the way to the world stage, from small-town kid to late-night legend. His journey is proof that laughter really can open doors, and that's where our story really begins. So buckle up, because the ride from Brookline to the big time is just getting started. After high school, Conan set his sights on Harvard and got in. He studied American history and literature, graduating magna cum laude. But the real magic happened at the Harvard Lampoon, the legendary campus humor magazine. Conan became president, twice, leading a crew of brilliant, eccentric writers. The Lampoon was his comedy boot camp, writing jokes, pulling pranks, and learning to run a creative team. This is where Conan's comedic voice truly took shape. The Lampoon's smart, silly, and absurd style became the DNA of his future shows. He learned to lead, collaborate, and push comedy's boundaries. Mixing serious academics with pure silliness, Conan became a historian who loved lowbrow jokes, a true original. Harvard gave him the brains, but the Lampoon gave him the funny. By the time he graduated, Conan was ready for the big leagues. The complete package was coming together. After Harvard, Conan headed to LA chasing his comedy dreams. His first big break, writing for Saturday Night Live from 1988 to 1991. He thrived in the high-pressure writer's room, creating classic sketches and even winning an Emmy. Conan wasn't a performer yet, but he learned TV from the inside out. After SNL, he joined The Simpsons during its golden age. The show's blend of smart and silly humor was a perfect fit. Conan wrote some of the most beloved episodes, like Marge versus the Monorail. His episodes were packed with surreal jokes and heart. Working on The Simpsons taught him storytelling, character, and the art of the perfect joke. He was now a top comedy writer, but something even bigger was about to happen. Conan was about to step out from behind the scenes. The next chapter would change late-night TV forever. From SNL to Springfield, he was building a comedy legacy. But the real spotlight was just ahead. The world was about to meet Conan O'Brien, the host. In 1993, late-night television was thrown into chaos. David Letterman, the beloved host of Late Night, made a dramatic exit from NBC, leaving a gaping hole in the network's late-night lineup. The pressure was on to find a worthy successor, and Lorne Michaels, the legendary producer behind Saturday Night Live, made a bold and unexpected choice. He picked Conan O'Brien, a name almost no one outside the comedy writing world recognized. Conan had almost no on-camera experience. He was a Harvard-educated comedy writer, known for his work behind the scenes on SNL and The Simpsons. But as a performer, he was a total unknown. The idea of him stepping into Letterman's shoes seemed almost unthinkable. Critics were merciless. Even before his first show aired, headlines dubbed him Conan the Destroyer, predicting disaster. The press questioned NBC's decision, and many doubted he would last more than a few months. His first shows were undeniably rough. Conan was visibly nervous, often stumbling through monologues and interviews. The network, worried about ratings, kept him on a short leash, monitoring every move and threatening cancellation if things didn't improve. But instead of playing it safe, Conan and his team decided to embrace the chaos. They leaned into the weirdness, using their outsider status as fuel for creativity. They unleashed a parade of bizarre, unforgettable characters like Pimpbot 5000 and the Masturbating Bear, and invented offbeat recurring bits like In the Year 2000. These sketches were unlike anything else on TV at the time. The show quickly became a late-night comedy laboratory, a place where absurdity and originality thrived. Conan's willingness to experiment set the tone for a new era of late night. Slowly but surely, a younger, hipper audience started tuning in. They connected with Conan's self-deprecating humor, his genuine awkwardness, and his refusal to take himself too seriously. He wasn't the polished, traditional host people were used to. Instead, he was the smart, funny weirdo who made it cool to be different. Over 16 years, Late Night with Conan O'Brien transformed from an underdog to a cult favorite, becoming a comedy institution that inspired countless fans and future comedians. Conan proved all the critics wrong. He redefined what a late-night show could be, showing that taking risks and being yourself could lead to lasting success. Conan's gamble paid off in a big way. He earned his place in television history, collecting awards and accolades along the way. The show's influence is still felt today. Modern late-night hosts and comedians often cite Conan as a major inspiration, and his unique brand of comedy continues to shape the genre. He turned late-night television into a playground for the absurd, where anything could happen and often did. Conan's journey from total unknown to late-night icon was nothing short of remarkable. He built a legacy that endures to this day. He made being different not just acceptable, but something to be celebrated. And after 16 groundbreaking years, Conan was just getting started. The next challenge was looming. The biggest stage in late-night television was waiting for him. The Tonight Show was calling, and Conan O'Brien was ready to answer. For any comedian, hosting The Tonight Show is the dream. It's the ultimate late-night stage, a symbol of having truly made it in comedy. For decades, it's been the place where legends are born and careers are cemented in television history. In 2004, NBC promised Conan the job in 5 years, a reward for his late-night success. The network wanted to keep him in the family, recognizing his unique comedic voice and loyal following. It was a deal that seemed to guarantee his future as the next king of late night. He moved his life to LA, ready for the big stage. Leaving behind New York, his friends, and the familiar late-night set, Conan embraced the challenge, eager to put his own stamp on a legendary show. In June 2009, Conan finally took over The Tonight Show, bringing his signature energy and humor. The audience was excited, and expectations were sky-high as he stepped into the spotlight. The show was fresh, fun, and different, but change isn't always easy. Conan's quirky style was a big shift from his predecessor, and not everyone was ready for it. Ratings trouble hit when Jay Leno's new show flopped, hurting Conan's numbers. The network grew anxious as the late-night lineup struggled, and pressure mounted behind the scenes. NBC panicked, wanting to push The Tonight Show past midnight. They hoped moving the show would fix their ratings woes, but it meant breaking a tradition that had lasted for generations. For Conan, that was a deal-breaker. He believed the show belonged at 11:35. To him, The Tonight Show was more than just a time slot. It was a legacy, and he wasn't willing to compromise its integrity. In a bold move, he walked away after just 7 months. It was a decision that shocked fans and the industry, but Conan stood by his principles. His final shows were funny, emotional, and full of support from fans and guests. The outpouring of love made it clear that Conan had made a lasting impact, even in a short time. He handled the chaos with class and humor. Even as the spotlight burned brighter, Conan never lost his wit or his ability to make people laugh. Team Coco was born. Fans rallied behind him. Online and in person, people showed their support, turning a setback into a movement. Conan left The Tonight Show with his head held high. He refused to let disappointment define him, choosing instead to look forward. It was a setback, but not the end. The headlines called it a loss. But for Conan, it was just the beginning of a new chapter. He turned disappointment into opportunity. Surrounded by loyal friends and writers, Conan began plotting his next move, determined to keep making people laugh. The next act would prove his resilience. He hit the road, reconnected with fans, and prepared for a comeback that would surprise everyone. Conan was far from finished. His journey was just getting started, and the world was ready to see what he'd do next. After NBC, Conan hit the road with his legally prohibited from being funny on television tour, selling out shows and connecting with fans. In November 2010, He launched Conan on TBS, with more creative freedom than ever. The show thrived on weird interviews, viral clueless gamer segments, and hilarious remote bits. Conan's travel specials took him to Cuba, Armenia, South Korea, and Ghana, blending comedy with cultural exploration. He became a global ambassador of laughter, using humor to connect with people everywhere. After 11 years, Conan ended his nightly show in 2021. But he wasn't done. He launched the hit podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, having long, funny, insightful chats with celebrities. He started producing new shows for HBO Max, including a travel series. Conan keeps evolving. Late night, cable, podcasting, streaming. He's always finding new ways to make us laugh. His career is a masterclass in reinvention. No matter the platform, Conan's comedy endures. He's always moving forward. What makes Conan so special? It's his mix of intelligence and pure silliness. He's a Harvard grad who'll do a goofy dance or talk to a puppet, unpredictable and unique. Conan's self-deprecating humor makes him relatable. He's always the first to make fun of himself. He doesn't act like a celebrity. He acts like a regular guy on TV. His comedy of failure, embracing chaos and imperfection, makes his show feel real and spontaneous. When things go wrong, he finds the funny. Conan's interviews are genuine. He listens, asks great questions, and makes guests feel comfortable. His travel shows and podcasts reveal his curiosity and kindness. He uses humor to build bridges, not walls. Conan's warmth and wit shine through everything he does. He's a true comedy icon, smart, silly, and sincere. That's why people love him. He's one of a kind. Conan O'Brien is more than a talk show host. He's a comedy pioneer. He brought a new, absurd style to late night, inspiring a generation of comedians and writers. His resilience after The Tonight Show saga showed true character, turning setbacks into comebacks. Team Coco became a massive online community, proving Conan understood the power of the internet before most. He built a brand that lived beyond TV, now thriving in podcasts and digital media. Conan's legacy is about laughter, kindness, and authenticity. For nearly 30 years, he's made us laugh and helped us through tough times. He proved you don't have to be the coolest to succeed, just genuine. His influence on comedy and media is immeasurable. Conan's story is about being yourself, no matter how weird. He's a media innovator, always ahead of the curve. His work will keep making people laugh for years to come. That's the Conan legacy. What a journey, from a funny kid in Brookline to a global comedy icon. Conan's faced challenges, reinvented himself, and inspired millions with his humor and heart. He's a writer, performer, host, podcaster, and traveler, always original. His impact on comedy is undeniable, and his connection with fans is real. Thanks for watching and celebrating Conan's amazing career with us. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe and ring the bell for more great stories. We love making these videos for you. Your support means everything. See you next time.